Hi, I'm Rick at Rick Turns, and today's video is today's project is something totally different, at least different for a while. I haven't made a tool in a long time, at least several years, probably I think it's more like 3. But recently, on one of my vases, a viewer commented, "Hey, my ring tool works really good for end-grain vases like that." And I thought, ring tool? I've heard of ring tools before, but I've never actually had one. And I looked them up, and they're not quite as expensive as other hollowing tools. They're about $100, $110, something like that, more than I wanted to spend on a tool that I've actually never used and don't know if it's going to work or not. There's a few videos on YouTube about it. One of them says, the other two are fairly complimentary. So I'm going to try it out, and I ordered this right here. This is the termite bit. The overall length for the shaft there is 5/8 of an inch. So this is going to go into the steel that I am going to use, and you'll notice right here there is a flat, and that flat is there right there, so that when I take my steel rod, drill the hole in, I'll drill a hole in here and put in a set screw, and that will hold it. Now, how do you sharpen this? Well, very carefully. No, just kidding. This is the sharpening bit that Oneway sells for their termite turning tool, their Oneway termite turning tool. And you can see it's just a little cone-shaped bit. And they say you have to use it at a very high RPM in a router, 16,000 to 30,000 RPM, something like that. And they also say right there, don't use a drill press unless it goes super, super high revs. My drill press doesn't. Even my lathe, I could probably only get up to 6,000 RPM. I'm not quite sure. So I don't know how I'm going to sharpen this particular tool. Didn't really realize this when I bought the tool, but that's okay. I would probably have bought it anyway. I just want to try it out. And I'll try sharpening it with this on, more than likely on the lathe, because I think it gets up to a higher RPM. This is the basic thing I'm going to need, okay? Now, trying to turn with this like this, you know, that's a little difficult, and you don't get much reach over the tool rest either. So I decided that I would put it in a longer tool. Now I know that's radical, but bear with me. So I bought a length of steel from Amazon. That was 13 bucks, incidentally. I forgot to mention this little bit. So after shipping, it came to about $33. You can find it a little cheaper than that. I found some on eBay after I ordered that one. But, you know, with shipping, that's what happens. On the other hand, how much shipping do you have to pay for something that big? Probably not even an ounce heavy. So I got this piece of steel from Amazon. This is 5/8 inch. And of course I could have gotten a 1/2 inch, or I could have gotten a 1 inch, or I actually have some 1 inch here. I think that's really too big. What I want to do is get about a 12 inch extension out of the handle. And I think that's going to work for just about anything I need right now. I generally, when I get logs, generally don't get them too much longer than that, particularly after they split a little bit on the end. Although I could go 13 inches, I might try that. So I'm going to cut this down to size. This is 36 inches for $13, so I'm going to be using roughly half of it. So you figure $6.50 for the steel here, and $30 for this piece. Now we're up to close to 40. So I'm saving some money, but not a lot. On the other hand, making tools is fun. If you've got a, easy way to handle the metal, like 4.5 inch grinder. And that's what I'll be using to cut this and to do a little shaping on it as well. All right, the other thing I need is a piece of wood, which I've got right here. Let's move this stuff out of the way. This is the smallest piece of wood I've got in my workshop right now. At least that'll work. I've got about 15 3/4 inches here. I would really have preferred to go at least up to 18 and maybe even longer, because this is going to be a long hollowing tool. First step, I think, is going to be the metal work. All right, my 5/8 inch piece of metal here. Okay, I'm going to cut, I want 13 inches clear of the handle. I want 3 inches in the handle. So that's a total of 16 inches. Got room to make mistakes. And that's good, because I usually use up that room completely. All right, ready to go. Not quite. I've got a metal cutting blade in here. This is, okay, I don't see the thickness. I think it's about a 1/16 of an inch. It's very, very thin, as you can see right there. And that's what I want. So I'm going to cut on my 17-inch mark there. Not putting any pressure, just letting the weight of the tool do the cutting. And there we have it. And just as a caution, don't touch that end. It's really hot. I know from experience. Okay, I need to drill a hole right down in the end of that. Ideally, I could do this in the lathe. Got a couple of chucks here that might work. This is a Nova G3. All right, super tight. And turn the lathe speed down to 0, turn it on. I'm not gonna go too fast here. Drilling in the metal, maybe a couple hundred RPM. Let me see. Well, there we go. That's 320 RPM and got a good bit of wobble, and I kind of expected that. It's unfortunate. So let me try a different. I've got a chuck with longer jaws. Now, these jaws, I think, are meant for, I don't know, holding pin blanks or something. I don't really remember exactly what they're for, but they're nice and long, and they really should do a great job of holding this in place. So let me put that in there. This is a Record Power SC3 chuck. If I can possibly get the tightening wrench to go in there. There. All right. So let me get that. Tighten it up, and you can see that's not going to work too well either. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to be able to drill this on the lathe, and I was hoping to do that because it would just be easier than doing it on the drill press. Okay, here we are at the drill press. Now, I have very carefully aligned this, and it's already slightly out of alignment with the drill head here, and trying to get this in the same vertical plane as the drill is drilling, which I think I've got it. Got my center point there. Now what this little bit here, right here is, that is a centering bit. I'm using that because it's very rigid, very small and rigid. And whereas a regular drill bit is going to tend to wander across there, the centering bit won't. I've got my drill set pretty much at its lowest speed, and I don't even know what that is. So here we go. Right on the mark. All right, and the purpose of this was just to get a starting point for a real drill, for the correct size drill. And I'm ready to start drilling. Again, gonna put a little oil on there, reduce the heat, and here we go. All right, now the next step here is to drill and tap a hole for a set screw. Once again, here's the termite cutter right here, and fits into that hole just like that. So the outside of the hole I've marked, on the outside I have marked the length of the bit, the termite bit right down here. And then I made another mark right there, and that's pretty much where I want to make the set screw set. So these two items right here, these are, as you probably know, these are tap holders. And the tap, which is this right here, I've got a 1032 tap here. That's a number 10 screw with 32 threads per inch. And the tap just fits right in here, and then when you screw this down, it holds it real tight. So I've got two of these. This one's pretty cheap. It's about $5. This one's a little more expensive. I think it's about $9, maybe even $10. I don't recall now. And the difference is this one has a ratcheting action, and it actually works quite nicely. This is the tap, as I said. It's a 1032. I bought this in a little kit with, it comes with its own drill bit. And that's what this drill bit is right here. The correct size drill bit for this particular tap. So now I'm gonna go over to the drill press, gonna drill a hole using this drill bit. And then once that hole is drilled, I'm gonna put the tap on it. I'm not gonna do that on the drill press. I'll come back to my machinist vise. I've got my centering bit in here again. That's what I'm going to use first. And after that, I'll switch over to the actual bit that will drill the correct size hole. But I want to get the center hole set in there first. All right, here goes. And there we have it. I'm not too worried about how deep this goes. Got this clamped in my machinist vise here. I've got my oil again. This time I'm going to put a little on here. Yeah, always get too much there. So there's my hole. This is my tap, a 1032 tap. It's kind of tapered down here to make it possible to start it. And the starting point is critical. You want to get it straight right here, because if you don't get it straight here, it ain't going to be straight anywhere else. It'll just get worse and worse. Okay, here we go. Now, let me see. All right, that looks straight. All right, now we're going. A little more oil there. Okay, I should have known this was going to happen. Well, after one trip to Home Depot and a lot of cursing, I'm ready to proceed again. I could not get the fraction of a piece out of the first hole. So I tried drilling it out, I tried several other things, nothing worked. Anyhow, so now I have holes in two ends. Won't matter, this end down here is going to go deep into the wood, so it's not going to hurt anything. But I drilled out the end right here again for the termite bit, and I put in the correct size hole again here, and now I have a new 1032 bit that I am going to try to turn without it screwing up. And by screwing up, I mean breaking. I think the correct procedure is for each full turn, you back it out a half turn to break the chip inside there. And I'm going to keep doing this until I go all the way through. Since once again, I drilled all the way through. Man, it's awfully hard to turn. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm heading towards shattering another bit here. Maybe this still is too hard for this intended threading, but I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to drill that hole a little bit larger. Now, I drill a hole with a 1/64 inch larger bit, and seem to be doing a little better this time. At least I haven't destroyed the tap yet. Fortunately, Home Depot has one more of these in stock at like $7 a piece. Well, it's been a bit of a journey to get back here. New piece of steel. I decided that the steel I was using, that stainless steel, is a lot harder than steel I've used before. And I don't really have the tools to work with steel that hard, so I bought a piece of mild steel. Looks pretty much the same. This is zinc coated, I think, but it looks pretty much the same. However, we're about to see if this really fixes it. So I've got a new length of steel here. I have drilled it here and drilled it here with the appropriate size holes. As you can see right here, this will fit right in there when I get all the scraps of metal out of there. And right now, I am going to tap this sucker, and it better work this time. This is my 1032 tap. This actually is a new 1032 tap because I broke the last one. I broke two now. So this is my last attempt. If this doesn't work, I don't know. I might give up and buy one. Once again, I'll be sure to get this started straight, because it is possible to get it crooked in the hole, and that does not work out real well. And it's going in pretty well. Incidentally, this is a plug tap. Don't think I ever mentioned that before. So I've got it in several turns there. I'm going to back it out one. You back it out to break the chip. And the chip is the small sliver of metal that is being cut by the threads of the tap. Is it going to break? So far it's going pretty smooth in there. Stiffening up a bit there. So I am going to break the chip again. Here we are. And it's a lot easier to turn than when I was doing it on that stainless steel. And that tells me pretty much, well, I was right. I was using wrong kind of steel, or stronger steel than I should have been using. And I'm coming out the bottom, I think. Yep, there it is. It's coming out the bottom. And that is exactly what it is supposed to happen. Hooray. Right here, we have a small socket screw. And this is what I'll be using to hold the piece in place. So I've got the flat right here. I'm going to put it in there. And thread this into the hole. Socket wrench here. Just tighten that down all the way in. And by golly, there we have it. That is the shaft of the termite tool with the termite mounted right on the end. My next step is going to be turning the handle for this tool. I suppose I could use it the way it is here, but it would be kind of hard to grip. And that is going to be in another video. I was going to put them all in one, but if I do that, it ends up being really long and nobody will watch it. I don't like breaking up videos or projects across two videos, but in this case, if I make everything short enough to go in one video, it's going to leave out a huge amount of detail that you might actually be interested in if you're going to build one of these. It would also leave out all the stupid mistakes I made along the way, but hey, I figure you can learn from my mistakes even if I can't. So I will see you very soon with my handle video, and then after it's done, I will have a complete termite tool and I'll be ready to use it.